Welcome to another episode of the Podcast Hour. I'm your host, Jay Bales, coming live across the Facebook airwaves. We live in, we live in some messed up times, I'm telling you. I don't watch TV anymore, really, because it's just too depressing. Uh, I try not to watch too much news either because it just distracts me, and it's all partisan crap. Politics is all partisan. Instead of solving the equations, instead of solving the problems, we bicker, we take sides, and we get nothing done. And instead of looking at problems as an American problem, we divide into these little groups, and we fight, claw, and scratch at each other instead of actually coming together and uniting. And this is this is nothing new, but the actors are different this time. The people are different. The issues are different. So, but the underlying problem is as old as time itself, right? It's as old as the story of Adam and Eve. It's as old as the story in Genesis, the first story. Now, we think that the story of Genesis is the oldest story in the book, in the Bible. But we also know that Job, the story of Job, is also as old, as equally old. Um, and they are some of the first passed down literatures, stories that have ever existed. And these are the first stories that have existed. And me as a storyteller, as a writer, that's what I do for a living. So, it's important to me. The story of Adam and Eve and the story of Job, these are some of the first stories ever created by man. Some 2,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. And they can be used as a metaphor for other stories. They can be used as a metaphor for what is happening in the country currently. Now, I'm going to try to stay out of opinions because I don't necessarily think my opinion really matters that much to you guys. Something tells me it doesn't. But I am going to try to stick to facts and historical facts. The story of Adam and Eve. Let's start there. So, God talks to Eve. God talks to Adam. Tells them both, you can have anything from this garden. You can have the animals. You can have the apples. You can have the fruits. But the only thing you can't have, and I forbid you, the only thing that you can have are the fruits from the tree of knowledge. Are the fruits from the tree of knowledge. Now, it's interesting that God or man names the the tree of knowledge, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Why is the name of the tree of knowledge? Well, that was the tree that Eve ate from first, according to the story. That was the forbidden fruit. The tree was called the tree of knowledge. Now, why was that called the tree of knowledge? Well, because when Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, she realized she was naked, and she also realized the truth, right? So she realized the truth. And so that is why I believe it was named the tree of knowledge, because when you ate from it, you realized the truth, the dirty, the messy truth that you are for years naive to. In our youth, we are naive to the truth. We are naive to the knowledge that we come to find in our later years. Some people never find the truth. Some people try, and they just never find the truth. Some people find the truth pretty quickly in life. And these are the lessons that are learned throughout life. That, some people believe that life is a lesson, and some people discover the lesson earlier than others. Some people never discover the lesson. But we are here to learn lessons. And the story of Adam and Eve is as old as mankind, you can say. It's one of the first stories. But why? Why did Eve eat the apple? And why did Eve eat the apple first? Why didn't Adam eat the apple first? When God told them both, don't eat from this tree, and the devil appeared in snake form, in serpent form, why do you think he talked Eve into eating it first and not Adam? That's a good question. Now, I don't know the answer to that, and that's up for interpretation. But it's interesting that Eve ate the apple first. Eve fell first. Woman fell first. Man fell later, according to the story. Now, this could be used as a metaphor for all kinds of stuff for what is happening now. But in all religions believe in this story. The Jews believe in this story. The Muslims believe in this story. And the Christians believe in this story. So it's not just one religion. This is a story for all religions. All theological religions believe this story. So Eve eats from the tree of knowledge. She eats from the tree of knowledge first. And the first thing that happens is she realizes she's naked. Whereas before, they were naive. They didn't have no concept that they were naked. She eats from the apple, or she eats from the tree of knowledge, and the first thing that happens is she realizes she's naked. Well, actually, the first thing that happened was she talked Adam into eating the apple, and then Adam and Eve both realized they were naked. And so they scrambled to find clothes. And then they hid in shame, according to the story, right? They hid in shame. And so this is the story. And again, I believe it's a metaphor for what's happening. I mean, America has a spiritual problem. I believe in that. And I think by denying customs that have been just by denying the spirit, we fall into this trap of science, and we fall into this trap of almost not believing anymore. And by not believing, we lose a sense of ourselves, I think. But we also are denying history. We're denying where we came from, and we're also cheapening life, I think, and it's at a tipping point. America has two roads it can go down. It can go down one road, or it can go down the other road. Which one will it decide to go on? Because for years America was a Christian nation. We were a Judeo-Christian nation. That's changing. And so when people are no longer of the same belief system, when people are no longer of the same morality system, what is going to happen? I don't know. People don't know. When people no longer share the same values anymore, I don't know what the future is going to look like, because, again, America for the longest time had the same belief system, whether you're religious or not. Whether you're religious or not, if we don't share the same values anymore, what's to stop the next guy from breaking into your house and doing whatever he wants? To be safe, the only real safety valve you have are the beliefs that your neighbor shares the same value system as you. The reason you don't break into somebody's house is because you don't want somebody to break into your own house, right? That's the reason you don't do bad things. The reason we don't, I don't know, rob people and stuff like that is because we ourselves don't want to be robbed. And so when we lose that belief system, we become like animals, believing in our own lusts and our own selfish desires. And even my non-religious friends have to agree with me on that. Even my non-religious friends have to agree. The only reason you don't go out and rob somebody is because you essentially don't want that to happen to yourself. and or maybe you don't need the money, but most of us are not rich. But anyway. And we're at a tipping point. America's at a tipping point where multiculturalism is colliding. We're going back into tribalism, and they're dividing us, and we are becoming a divided country again. And so I think we're at a crossroads now. I think the future is very uncertain, especially for America. And if you don't know history, then you potentially can repeat it. And we now have the technology to create massive destruction you know, with the atomic bomb and different things. So we have the capabilities now to do great harm. And so if we are not stable as a society, if we are not stable as a country, then anything can happen. And so that's the scariest thing. Um, Me personally, I'm more in the middle. I have religious friends and I have non-religious friends, and I'm kind of like in the middle, and I don't really know. But I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. I wish more people would be in the middle than taking sides. Because we're taking sides now. The leftist socialists who say they hate white supremacy, but yet they are socialists, which is funny to me. They are on their side, so the leftist Democrats are on one side, and the conservative Republicans are on another side. And everybody's kind of drawing battle lines. They're just drawing, where they stand. And we are at a turning point where two ideas with opposing beliefs are colliding. And I myself am in the middle. I am a libertarian, and I wish more people would be libertarians. I really do. I really wish more people would be in the middle, and they could be more open, and they can be more open-minded and up for debate, up for discussion. Most people are not open for debate. Most people have their battle lines drawn. They have their fingers on the trigger. Where they stand is where they stand, and anybody that opposes them is the enemy. And that is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Again, I try not to. I don't like to impose my opinion because I try to stay factual. But sometimes you have to kind of have your opinion. And it's funny because when you tell your opinion, especially on the internet, the only people that really respond are the people that are against you. So if you say, well, you know what, I don't know if abortion is a good thing. I don't know. If you say that, the comments are going to be all the people who are for abortion, and they're going to be ridiculing you because you don't agree with them. Which I never really said I don't agree with them. I'm just saying I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if the government telling or not. I don't know if abortion is as simple as a woman's right to choose. Like I don't know if it's that simple. I don't know. I don't know. But everybody's got their battle lines drawn, and you're either on one side or you're on the other side. To be in the middle is to be in the minority nowadays. And as a libertarian, we are in the middle on most things. But most people are either right or left. Very few people are in the middle on most issues. If you turn on CNN, it's a partisan leftist channel. If you turn on Fox News, it's a right-wing channel. I guess. I don't know. I haven't watched Fox News in a long time. But the direction of the country I don't know. I don't know what to think. I sometimes think it's better, and then on other days I think it's worse. It just depends. But I will say this. We, I think, are becoming less free. And we we face different enemies. We face the corporate elite enemies, and we also face political enemies. And I think those are the two opposing belief systems, or I think those are the two entities of our time. We have the corporate elitists on one side, and we have the our political elitists on another side, and they are in cahoots secretly. This is what I think. I think they're in cahoots secretly, but they're using politics to divide the rest of the country. I think that's what's happening. And they're going after free speech. That's next in line, free speech. So they're going to start shutting people down. What they're going to do is they're going to start shutting alternative media down. And that, the thing about that is if they classify everything as hate speech and they start shutting down alternative media, then the only thing that's left is their media. And if you want any type of opinion or media, the only thing that's left is their media. That's what they're fixing to do. And they're going to classify everything as hate speech. And whether you agree with what the person is saying, that's not good, in my opinion. I mean, the only free speech is what separates us from China. If you go to China, they don't have a First Amendment. You cannot openly discuss topics like you can in America. And so if they change the First Amendment and they start classifying everything as hate speech, that is scary. And whether it's a private corporation or a government, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if a private corporation is censoring people, and if a private corporation is as big as Facebook or Google is allowed to censor people openly, and if all the people they're censoring share a different opposing ideology than those at the top, that's not good, and that goes against the First Amendment. And so that's what I think is fixing to happen. And it's a shame. But well, I'm out of here, guys. I'll just wanted to have a short podcast here. Kind of a slow day today. Not much going on. I'll be back later. Like, comment, share. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think about free speech in America? What do you think about tradition? What do you think about religion? Do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? These are essential questions. Let me know in the comment section. You guys have a good day.